Well, I am so super excited. Here we are at another Oz Cosmic Con. And who am I with? Devon Murray. How are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you, darling?
I'm just fabulous because I'm talking to you.
Glad to hear it.
Tell me, when did you arrive in Australia first up?
I got here like last Thursday. So I flew into Sydney and I was there up until Wednesday, and now I'm in Brisbane, and it's been great since I got here. The people are so nice, they're so welcoming, and they're just down to earth, which is really cool.
Yeah. I believe you went out last night.
I did. I met up with some friends of mine that moved over here from Ireland. And we went out, caught up, had a couple of drinks, and it was good to see them all again. So I plan on coming back maybe early next year and hang out with them again. Kind of get to see a bit more of Brisbane.
Excellent. Well, there's a lot to see here because we're growing. We've got, lots of wonderful things. And I believe you had a very speed visit many years ago, obviously when you were promoting Harry Potter.
Yeah, during Harry Potter, I had to fly over here for some publicity, and I literally flew over for like an hour or two and then straight back out of here.
I know.
So I didn't even get to see anything.
That's ridiculous.
No, it was just they were teasing me. Oh, you want to see Australia? Okay.
Yeah.
You can see it from an airplane.
Yeah, no, that's not good enough.
No, it really isn't.
Bad hosts.
Terrible.
So next time, we'll have to make it up to you and make sure that you get a really good visionary.
Exactly.
Of what Australia and especially Brisbane City is. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's it. Looks great from the airplane. It looked great.
Well, we got the best weather out of everybody.
Well, it's just like me coming here from Ireland. We've had terrible weather. We've just come out of summer, and if we had probably like 15 good days, that was it.
Yeah.
So like I where I live is like it's a real farming area. Yeah. Like everybody's giving out because they can't make hay this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So tell me, I want to sort of go from the beginning. How did it all start with Harry Potter with you?
Well, I was kind of like acting from like 5 years old. I'm an only child. I always wanted all the attention to be on me. I was like a real attention seeker. Cool. So my mum and dad, I wanted them to set me up like singing and dancing. So they did, and I joined the agency on one day, and then I got an audition the next day, and then I got my very first movie like 2 days later. So I thought, oh my god, this is so easy, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. So then I got another part a couple of weeks later. So from there I went on to a different agency, I got more work, and then I got invited over to do a screen test for Harry Potter. But I didn't know what Harry Potter was or who Harry Potter was. I'm dyslexic, so I'd never read the books or even heard of them. So when I flew over, I didn't do any research. I was 11 years old thinking, I'll just go over and do my thing. And I walked straight past Dan, Rupert and Emma, and I walked over to the director, Chris Columbus, and I thought he was Harry Potter. So I went over and said, how's it going, Harry? Nice to meet you. And everybody just started breaking themselves laughing, and I was like, what's going on? What have I just done? And then I kind of figured it out. And then 2 days later I got the part. So I thought that was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. Call Chris Columbus the wrong name.
Yep. Yeah.
That might be how I got the part. Because Seamus is kind of clumsy and stupid, and so it made sense.
Look, they always say accidents happen for a good reason.
Exactly.
In the world, and that was like a Freudian slip in the showbiz world, which
completely. And it worked.
Up your world.
It worked to my advantage.
Yeah. And here you are. It's like you were in all the films of Harry Potter, which that's just legendary, in itself.
Well, that's how I started then when I was 11 and I finished when I was 22. Wow. So half of my life had been spent on these amazing movie sets.
Yeah. What in all the films, is there obviously a moment there that is very special for you that you could share with us? And
I think in the very first movie, it was just the director Chris done such a fantastic job of bringing the life of wizarding to a life, and it was just so cool, like, to watch the movies and see that. But being on the set, they wouldn't let us see the Great Hall before filming. So the very first day got to see it was as we were filming, going into it. So they only took one shot of it, I think, and that was the shot they used, us walking in. So that was cool to see that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then, like, just the fun that we had on that.
Oh.
Like we were all in around the same age, and we all clicked so quick, which was great.
You would that immediately, you know, you will become a family.
Oh, completely, yeah. Like within a matter of weeks, like we were just all inseparable. So.
Do you still catch up with?
No, I hate them all. No, it's hard. Everybody kind of at the Harry Potter, they all went and done their own thing. They've all moved all the way around the world. I'm back in Ireland. I've got horses at home. So every day of the week I'm up in the yard first thing in the morning. I ride all day and then I don't get home till like 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
So the horses just kind of took over my life.
So would that be your, you know, ultimate other passion?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I kind of started acting so I could pay for my horses. And then during the very first Harry Potter I had to give up horse riding in case I fell off and broke an arm or broke a leg or anything like that. So instead of just getting rid of them completely, we got a small yard and kept a couple of horses just so I was still in and around them. Once I get home I could go down and visit the yard and make sure everything was running okay and they were all okay. But it was such a shame not being able to ride for so long. Like all my friends I'd been competing against, we were all kind of in around the same. And then once I got back into it after Harry Potter, there was such a huge gap. They were all off jumping like the big classes. And I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm nowhere near that now. But look, I was very fortunate to do Harry Potter, and I had to sacrifice some things, and that's just how it goes. And I'd much rather sacrifice the horses and do Harry Potter than do the horses and never have Harry Potter.
Absolutely, yeah. Because the horses are, they're always there in the back.
Well, that's it, exactly.
Yeah.
I always had a part to play in them. I wasn't riding, but I had different things to do. And
what are your other pleasures that you like to get yourself involved in?
it's pretty much just the horses. Like having horses, they just take over your life. I have no social life when I go home. It's just up in the yard all day, every day. Go out to different shows all around the country, and it's just really fun.
Yeah. Well, it sounds amazing.
It is.
Well, another I've got to bring up. There's a film that you did called "This Is Your Father," and you actually, worked with Adrian Quinn.
That's right.
Who I'm in love with.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely. I've been in love with him for a long time. So you have to tell me what it was like, especially with him. There was other cast members as well. My God, you had James Caan, and John Cusack and Stephen Ray. All of them are exceptionally amazing actors to work with.
Well, that was my very first movie that I ever done. And I only had 2 days filming on it. I had 2 lines, and they got cut out. And I never cried as much in all my life. So I was like 5 or 6 years old, and myself, my mum and dad, we went off to like a holiday camp in Ireland called Mosney. So for the screening, they invited us to it. So we drove from Mosney back to Dublin and watched the movie, and they cut me out. And then at the very end, they spelled my name wrong. So in the credits, it's D-U-V-A-N. I know. So I cried my heart out all the way from Dublin back to Mosney. But the weirdest thing is, myself and my mum, during Harry Potter, we had to buy a small yard for the horses, and there was a house on it. So we decided we'd try and live in there, and my dad stayed in the family house in Selbridge so he could work. He's a taxi driver. So as we were in the house, we decided we'd watch This Is My Father. And we're watching it, and we're thinking, geez, that looks like where our yard is. There's a Board Namona, like a peat bog right beside us, and there used to be these, the big chimneys like out of The Simpsons from the nuclear plant.
Yeah.
So they had 2 chimneys like that across the bog. So we're watching it, and we say, they look like the chimneys across the bog. And we're like, yeah, and there's a bog. And we're thinking, no, it couldn't be. And then with that, you see them, and they're running through our fields.
Yeah.
So my very first movie I ever done, I bought the property that some of the movie was filmed on. It's just insane, like, where else would you get it? And they also used, say, one of our front left fields as unit base while they were filming there. It was just insane.
Wow,
So,
that is insane.
Yeah, like how weird is that? But like, my very first, who was it? Aidan Quinn. They went out and they had like a liquid lunch, and I was like 5 or 6 and Mum sent me over to get an autograph. So I go over and I say, sorry, my mum says you're famous. Can you sign that? And what did he say? He said, "Don't mind your mother, she's only lying." So he signed it for me, and I turn around, walking back to my mum, and said, "Mum, he's drunk." I could smell like beer or something like that off his breath. So, but he was such a nice man. He was just really, really, really nice.
That is so cute.
Nobody's ever asked me a question about that movie, ever.
Ever? Really?
Yeah.
That was the first thing I wanted to ask you. Because that is, you know.
It's probably one of my favourite movies that I've ever been in. It's just a beautiful movie. So.
Yeah. Wow. What are your favourite films? You know that you would obviously. What are you an action man or sort of?
For me, like if I was to ever play a part in any movie, I'd love to involve horses in it, like a war horse or something like that.
Yeah.
Seabiscuit. So maybe one day somebody will come knocking on the door and say, "Hey, look,
I've got a script."
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I got cast years and years and years ago in a movie called Kildare, and I was cast as the main character, and then I got scrapped. But it was all about this boy and his love for horses, and he rode all day, every day. It was pretty much my life now, but it ended up getting scrapped.
Wow.
So it was a bit of a bummer.
Showbiz stinks sometimes, doesn't it?
I was so excited. It was just before Harry Potter as well,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, "Oh my God, this is gonna be so cool." I think it was like he was a traveller boy or something like that, and then he went off and became this big international show jumper. So.
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe one day.
One day.
Fingers crossed. Live at home.
You gotta manifest it.
Exactly.
You gotta believe in the magic out there.
Well, my mum tried to write. My mum is always writing like bits of scripts and bits of books.
Yeah.
And she had a great idea for one of them. It was about horses, and then she kind of stopped writing that and went on to something else. I was like, no, go back and finish off the horse one. It was a really, really cool book, and she just hasn't gotten around to finishing it.
Okay.
So
Push up.
I keep on pushing. Yeah.
Ink it.
Just do it.
Yes.
Get it done.
Yes. Because you might be. That's your
That's
baby.
it. Exactly.
Yeah. So, anything else you would like to share with us in terms of, what you would love to do, in the future?
In the future, what I'd like to do, just kind of keep on plugging with the horses, try and get a couple. Like I've stopped acting completely after Harry Potter, and just to get back to normality and being me again. But now in the last couple of months, I've kind of got the itch again to kind of get back out and do a bit more acting again. Like I was lucky enough to have so many scripts sent out after Harry Potter had finished,
Yeah.
and I was kind of like, do I want to go off to another country or do I want to stay with my family and actually like get to know my dad again? Because we lost contact so much like with filming. I don't get to see him one day a week. I'd fly home from the UK on a Friday. My mum and dad would go for a couple of drinks, and then I'd see him say on Saturday, and then I'd be flying back home over to the UK then on Sunday. So I got to see him one day a week. And then like he'd always try and fly over for like a week or two, but he had to stay at home and pay the bills.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a better place. I'm growing up, I've matured, and I kind of want to get back into acting and try and get out there.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm sure with that statement there'll be a lot of people who might say, "Wow, we want you in our movie."
Well, fingers
Or
crossed.
TV, or there's a choice, isn't there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fingers crossed it
Yeah.
works out.
Well, we obviously thank you for speaking with Hush Hush Biz today.
No problem, thank you very much.
We're excited that you're having a good time here, and we wish you all the best in the future. And we hope to see you next time when you're here in Brisbane.
Yeah,
especially.
definitely. Exactly. And I'll have a bit more time to like relax and see things and so I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank
You're very
you.
right.